going to be probably the most difficult Sweden we've come up against, to be honest. They're in really good form, coming off a fantastic result against Germany. But I think the Lionesses in this group of death that they were calling it, with the Netherlands and France and Wales, I think after that first game against France, we kind of, kicked into gear against the Netherlands. And genuinely, I believe the Lionesses, seem to get better as the tournaments go on. I've been interested to see, obviously the last tournament that we won was in England. Everybody was falling in love with the Lionesses during the tournament. And I think the fact that it's in Switzerland, the crowds have been fantastic. The Lionesses fans have been coming out in their numbers, but it's not going to be easy. Those of us that were there, those of us who remember that game, 3 years ago at Bramall Lane when Alessia Russo scored that back heel, which was a fantastic goal. But I don't think it's going to be easy. A lot of these players know each other. Leah was talking there in that interview about Stina Blackstenius, Arsenal teammate. So there's a lot of players that know each other in this team. It's not going to be easy.
I imagine they'll be confident going into the game, Lianne. I mean, it don't seem like 5 minutes ago where that they beat them 4-0. I think Beth Mee scored, Lucy Bronze scored, Russo scored, and then with that the back heel, Frank Kirby got the other one, and 2 draws since. So they're playing well at the minute. They beat Wales. They should be confident going into this game.
Yeah, they should be, but I think, ultimately, when you are the best at this moment in time, we are the best in Europe, we're the reigning champions, everybody wants to beat us. I personally think Spain are the team to beat. Watching that game last night, I did the game for talkSPORT on commentary, Italy versus Norway, and genuinely, like, the bracket that England are in by coming second in the group, it's not an easier route to the final, but somewhat we miss out Spain until we get to the final. So, and I do think those two teams are beatable, but we have to beat what's in front of us. I feel confident that the Lionesses can do it, but like I said, it's not going to be easy. They have really good individual players. I think the first 15, 20 minutes are really crucial. I imagine Serena Wigman will keep the same team as she's kept the last 2 games. She changed it after the first game against France because it didn't quite work. But for me, I just felt it was an off day for everybody in the game against France. And it happens, doesn't it? Everybody has an off day. We bounce back again against the Netherlands, and I think we're in a good spot right now.
What about the French, Lianne? Have you been impressed with France?
Yeah, I think, they've got top players. They have a lot of strength in depth. The fact they've got one of the best forwards in the world in Diani, and she's on the bench, just about speaks true. The problem with the French team, Alan, is there's a lot of talk off the field. They've left out 3 really top players in Wendy Renard, Le Sommer and Kenza Darley going into this tournament. And the managers turned around and said, in other words, they're too old to go, which I don't necessarily agree with that. So, but I think this French team have the quality, no doubt they do. I still don't fear them in the way that I fear this Spain team. I think you look at the Spanish side, they are the team to beat. They've got the best players in the world. And I think, England at this moment in time, we are not the best in the world, but we're showing good signs of that.